Hi everybody, Dr. Lisa Thompson here, drlisamthompson.com, and I'm coming to you from my home office outside of Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and welcome to another edition of The Doctor Is In live on this Monday, October the 10th, Columbus Day, 2016. As we wait for some people to come on the show, here's what I want you guys to do today, is make sure you hit on the upper right-hand corner of your screen the notification button. That way you will know, Facebook will send you a notification when I'm going live with my show, which is typically Thursdays, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Central, 1:30 Pacific. Today we're switching gears. We're moving from blogging, and we're going to be talking about Twitter. Why Twitter is considered one of the best places to find laser-targeted leads for your business. So when you come on board and we interact, make sure you tell me your name and where you're from, and I'll give you a shout out here today on the show. So let's talk a little bit about Twitter. Now, I've always said that you need to find, for social media, that you need to find one marketing strategy, one social media strategy, and you need to stick with it. So for a lot of people, there's big challenges that I see with a lot of marketers that are brand new to the business. Many of you might be having full-time jobs, and you're also trying to balance family life as well. Fall is one of the busiest times of the year when you have your kids going off to do soccer. Hey Matthew, glad to have you on the show, where they're off playing soccer and football and volleyball, or they're in drama club. And hey Teresa, glad to have you on the show. And it's a very, very busy time for a lot of people. And if you don't have kids who are very active, maybe you're active in a lot of other organizations. Maybe you're involved with your church or one of the civic organizations. You do volunteer work, but you're very, very busy. And you have to try to find time, when we talked about last week, with active marketing, active prospecting, where you actually have to go out and meet 10 new people. And active prospecting does take time. And for many people, when they go out on social media, they'll go on Facebook, and they'll go to Facebook groups, they'll go to Google Plus groups, they'll go to LinkedIn groups, and they'll try to find people to start conversations with. And the big challenge with that is that active prospecting does take time. And for a lot of people, hi Julia, glad to have you on the show today. And what makes it very challenging is not that it's going out and meeting people on those different groups in the social media networks. It is rather the time that you have that you can go in and talk with people. A lot of times where, you might be fitting it in when it might be right before you're going to bed, or there's just this little bit of time before you rush off to your kid's next activity. And that might not be the time when your audience and people are on the social media network. So it becomes a challenge. Now, Twitter has become one of the best places to find laser-targeted leads. And I'm going to give you some reasons why. Twitter was my first love on social media. I started with social media back in 2008. I set up a Facebook account, but I really didn't do too much with it. I went on Twitter just because at that time, I have to admit, I am a soap opera addict. And at the time, one of my favorite soaps to watch was The Guiding Light on CBS. And I met people on, hi Ronnie, wow, it's 7:30 in the morning down there in Down Under. And what happened was back in 2008, or in 2009 actually, Guiding Light was canceled by CBS. It was like the longest running soap opera in American history. And so what I did, and why I love Twitter, is that I could go on real time with other Guiding Light fans, and we would tweet the show together. We would do like live tweets. It was great. It was fun. It was snarky. but I never used it for business. But I always loved the platform. It's my first love. But I want to give you some statistics today that will get you to rethink that maybe you want to use Twitter when you're first getting started. And the first one is, there's over 313 million active users on Twitter. And now this one really blew my mind. Hey Joseph, glad to have you on the show today. You know what the fastest growing demographic on Twitter is right now? It's going to blow your mind here. It is the baby boomers. Okay? Grandparents are the fastest growing demographic on Twitter. And this baby boomer generation is one that's really a great place to target, especially, people my age, or if you know people right now who are baby boomers. This is really great because, number one, baby boomers do have some disposable income, and number two, they want to be able to supplement their income because of upcoming, to make sure that they're paying for their long-term care later on for their health and to have something for retirement. So this is a really great place for Twitter. You're really going to find a lot of baby boomers on Twitter right now. The other thing about Twitter is that it is completely mobile. A lot of people, I remember when I first got started, I was using TweetDeck a lot. I had to be on my laptop to use Twitter, but now it's mobile. And people the active users on Twitter are always checking their tweets almost every hour on the hour. So those who are on Twitter, they're very, very active. Now, the second reason why you should consider Twitter, especially if you are someone who's pressed for time, is that it is the only social media network out there that you can automate. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, a lot of times, remember what I said when you go into Facebook groups and everything, it's a sift, marketing is nothing but sifting and sorting, so you have to go through conversations with people, and, and a lot of times when you go into these groups, they're cold, they don't know who you are and what you're about, so you have to spend some time in discussions with them, and that's where the breakdown is a lot of times that I see for leads, and I know this too myself. If I'm going in, and I'm not dissing that you shouldn't go into Facebook groups and Google Plus groups and LinkedIn groups, that's important, but if you're really pressed for time, you're not going to be able to follow up with people in a timely manner to keep those relationships going. But what Twitter allows you to do is that you can automate. And you can use two apps on Twitter where you can automate the tasks where you can put your tweets in front of targeted people. And what it does is that this automation allows you to sift and sort so that only the people who are interested are going to reach out to you on direct message, are going to say, hey, I want to talk to you. Okay, and then what that does is now you can set up and start having conversations with people who are truly interested. That's powerful, and it's a time saver. And if you do this right, you can get 10 leads in 15 minutes per day. So you can, if you set this automation up correctly, and over this week especially and into next week, I'm going to teach you how to do this on Twitter, to set this up, so that you are going to be able to get leads coming into you, where they're going to come and seek you out. And these are people who are interested. These aren't tire kickers. You're not going in and talking to friends and family and spamming their wall with links. This is a very easy, professional, and elegant way to reach out to people. And it's remarkably easy, so that when you are maybe at your child's soccer game or football game, volleyball game, or maybe you're at lunch, you can in 15 minutes get stuff done on Twitter. And then when you come home, you can have that block of time where you can respond back to messages and continue a conversation and build relationships. What do you think? Does that sound interesting to you? Because over the last couple months, I have been studying from the two top Twitter marketers out there, Adam Chandler and Terry Grimeau. And what I've learned some new strategies on the types of content to post on Twitter. I have learned how to reach out to people and how to develop the conversation on Twitter to get them over to Facebook so you can continue the conversation further. If you're interested, I want you to come and make sure you are on this show for this week, Monday through Friday. Make sure you hit that notification button in the right-hand corner of your screen. And then that way you'll be notified when I am doing these shows, which is 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Central, 1:30 Pacific, so that you can be there when I talk about this. Now, if you would like to know and get some free training and learn ahead of time some of the strategies, what I want you to do is comment yes below, and I will give you a free training that I learned this system from, and it's from Adam Chandler, my very good friend, and he really taught me the ins and outs of Twitter. And if you put comment yes below, I will make sure that I get that training to you. So, how many of you, just out of curiosity, are using Twitter right now to build your business? I'll just quick kind of wait here for people to answer here. I'm getting a lot of hearts. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Teresa. Yep, Ronnie's interested. Awesome. We'll make sure that we get this all here for you. And if you want to know more with Twitter as well, you can also head over to my blog at drlisamthompson.com, and in the search terms, you can just type in Twitter, and you can see a whole bunch. I did back in April, I did a whole month's worth of blog posts about Twitter training. What are some things you can do about Twitter? Julia, you have Post Planner, Post Tweets. That's about all. Okay, good. So what I'm going to teach you how to do, Julia, is you can use Twitter with two apps that are totally automated, and you can have everything set up for you. So now all you have to do is just follow people on Twitter, and it's going to guide them through the sifting and sorting process. I know that you're going to really love it. Teresa says she's using it, but not main strategy, but she uses Tweet Jukebox. Awesome, 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 awesome. And I'll give you a hint. Tweet Jukebox is one of the apps. And I want to give you guys a heads up too with Tweet Jukebox. At the end of the month, they're revamping it so that it's going to also include, I believe, Facebook and LinkedIn, and the prices are going to go up. There is a premium feature on Tweet Jukebox. I'll talk more about that this week. So you can, if you want to lock in now, because I know for a fact I've been getting emails from the developer that they are going to double the price. So if you, after I talk with you about it this week, you should, if you're going to make a move to get it, you will want to do it before the end of the month. Joseph says, yep, Twitter is awesome. All right. So I think Joe, are you talking about with the Tweet Jukebox being revamped? Okay. Good. Ronnie says she's on Twitter, but just needs to know how to use it a bit better. Awesome, Ronnie, because we're going to be talking about how to how to make your Twitter profile stand out. We're going to talk about how to, with your banner ad, what are the important things you need to have on your banner ad, or actually your Twitter banner, excuse me, not the banner ad. And what you need to do is there's going to be 5 types of content you need to be putting on Twitter. And there's one of them right now that I learned from Terry Grimeau that is absolutely vital if you really want to start getting laser targeted leads for your business. It just blew my mind when he showed me this, and I can't wait to share it with you this week. So this is going to be very, very exciting. So with that said, make sure if you want to have more access to this Twitter training from Adam Chandler, hit yes below, and I will make sure that I will send it to you via private message so you can watch the training. And with that said, on tomorrow's episode of The Doctor Is In Live, we're going to be talking about about your Twitter profile, what you need to be adding to your Twitter profile so that people will automatically want to follow you and start engaging with you and your tweets. So with that said, have a great evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.